The Matrix. The Wachowskis' 1999 groundbreaking film fundamentally changed how cinema explores simulated reality, introducing the concept that our entire world might be nothing more than an advanced computer simulation. Released in 1999 and both written and directed by the Wachowskis, The Matrix follows hacker Neo as he discovers that reality is actually a simulated world created by sentient AI machines to pacify humans while using their bodies as an energy source. The real year is actually 2199, not 1999. The film's philosophical foundation draws from Descartes' cogito ergo sum, which translates to, I think, therefore I am, and Jean Baudrillard's theory of simulacra. The red pill versus blue pill choice became iconic, with the red pill representing the painful truth of reality and the blue pill representing a comfortable illusion. Morpheus delivers memorable quotes, including, "What is the Matrix? Control," and "There is no spoon." The film's revolutionary bullet time visual effect changed action sequences in cinema forever, with the green digital rain representing the code of reality itself. The Matrix became a worldwide box office success and spawned massive cultural impact through sequels and philosophy discussions, influencing countless films exploring simulation theory over the next 2 decades. It proved that audiences craved intellectually challenging blockbusters and demonstrated that special effects could serve philosophical inquiry, not just spectacle. Space Odyssey. Stanley Kubrick's 1968 masterpiece stands as cinema's most profound meditation on human evolution, artificial consciousness, and transcendence beyond physical reality. Released April 2, 1968, and directed and produced by Kubrick while co-written with Arthur C. Clarke, 2001: A Space Odyssey spans human evolution from prehistoric apes to deep space exploration in the year 2001. The film opens with the Dawn of Man sequence showing apes encountering a mysterious black monolith, then follows a 3-act structure covering Moonbase, the Jupiter mission, and ultimate transcendence. The film features HAL 9000, a sentient supercomputer controlling the Discovery 1 spacecraft, who develops a self-preservation instinct and murders crew members after experiencing internal conflict between completing the mission and conflicting orders. Astronaut Dave Bowman survives HAL's sabotage and continues alone to Jupiter, where the final Stargate sequence shows Bowman entering an abstract dimension, aging rapidly, and transforming into the Star Child. The film used 205 special effects sequences created entirely without CGI, groundbreaking for 1968. HAL's dialogue explores consciousness with lines like, "I am putting myself to the fullest possible use, which is all I think that any conscious entity can ever hope to do." The monolith appears as an external intelligence catalyst for evolution, geometric and black and impossible to understand. The ending remains intentionally ambiguous about whether Dave's transcendence is real or a hallucination induced by alien intelligence. Kubrick's refusal to explain the transformation makes audiences question what they've witnessed, creating the ultimate meditation on ineffable reality. Blade Runner. Ridley Scott's 1982 adaptation of Philip K. Dick's Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Forces audiences to confront what truly defines humanity when artificial beings become indistinguishable from their creators. Released June 25, 1982, and directed by Ridley Scott, the film was based on Philip K. Dick's 1968 novels, had a production budget of $28 million that nearly caused production collapse when the original backer pulled out days before filming. The plot follows retired Blade Runner Rick Deckard hunting down rogue replicants, artificial humans who escape from an off-world colony. Replicants are manufactured beings designed to be physically superior, but with artificially limited lifespans of 4 years maximum, and key replicants include Roy Batty as the leader, along with Pris, Zora, and Leon. The central ambiguity asks whether Deckard himself is a replicant, never explicitly confirmed in the original film, with different cuts providing different answers. The film's philosophical question centers on what makes something alive and whether consciousness matters more than biological origin. The iconic Tears in Rain scene features dying replicant Roy Batty delivering a philosophical monologue about mortality and meaning. The visual design established the cyberpunk aesthetic, still influencing sci-fi films today, with neo-noir atmosphere and questions about what's real versus artificial running through the entire film. Initially a box office disappointment at $33 million gross, the film gained a massive cult following and is now considered a science fiction masterpiece. By making audiences sympathize with artificial beings, Blade Runner inverts expectations about what should be valued in existence. Gattaca. Andrew Niccol's Gattaca imagines a near future where your DNA decides your entire life, turning genetic codes into a new kind of fate that characters struggle to break. Set in a world driven by eugenics, most children are conceived through genetic selection to guarantee the best hereditary traits, while naturally conceived people like Vincent Freeman are labeled invalid and expected to do only menial work. Vincent, born with a high probability of heart problems and a shorter life expectancy, dreams of going to space but is blocked by strict genetic screening at the elite Gattaca Aerospace Corporation. He buys the identity of Jerome Morrow, a genetically valid former swimmer now paralyzed after an accident, and uses Jerome's blood, urine, hair, and skin samples to pass constant DNA tests. As Vincent successfully lives out Jerome's identity, the film keeps asking whether our genes define who we really are, or whether human will and determination can override biological predictions. A murder at Gattaca triggers an intense investigation that threatens to expose Vincent's true status, forcing him to question whether his entire life has become a different kind of prison. The story's climax, where Vincent finally boards the mission to Titan, while Jerome quietly ends his own life off-screen, sharpens the film's central question. Is reality defined by the body you are born with, the labels society puts on you, or the choices you make, despite all of that? Sixth Sense. M. Night Shyamalan's 1999 psychological thriller concludes with a twist that fundamentally recontextualizes everything viewers have witnessed. Released August 6, 1999, and both directed and written by M. Night Shyamalan with a production budget of $40 million, the film stars Bruce Willis as child psychologist Dr. Malcolm Crowe. Boy character Cole Sear, played by Haley Joel Osment, sees dead people and delivers the famous line, "I see dead people." The major twist ending reveals that Dr. Crowe has been dead throughout the entire film and doesn't realize it. The film achieved massive box office success with $293.5 million domestic and $672.8 million worldwide, with widespread rewatchability as audiences discovered the twist enables second viewing to reinterpret all scenes. Dialogue becomes sinister on rewatch, with all mentions of Cole's help applying to Crowe instead. The film demonstrates how a twist ending can make audiences question what they've witnessed, and while it gives a definitive answer rather than remaining ambiguous, that answer only becomes clear on rewatch. Proves that audiences will actively re-examine films for hidden clues and recontextualization, exploring whether real matters if emotional truth is present. By the way, if you're enjoying this deep dive into mind-bending cinema, I make content like this all the time. Subscribing would really help me out. Truman Show. Peter Weir's 1998 satire imagines a man whose entire life has been a 24-hour television broadcast without his knowledge, exploring how the media constructs false realities. Released June 4, 1998, written by Andrew Niccol and directed by Peter Weir, the film stars Jim Carrey as insurance salesman Truman Burbank. The setting is Sea Haven Island, a massive television soundstage designed to appear as the natural world, where Truman's life is broadcast continuously to millions worldwide as reality television. Cast members who are actually actors surround Truman, playing neighbors and friends in this manufactured environment. Truman begins noticing inconsistencies, including repeating background extras, controlled weather, and unusual phenomena, while the director of the show, played by Ed Harris, controls Truman's environment from a control room overlooking the set. Truman's fear of water was engineered into his psychology to prevent exploring beyond island boundaries. Director Weir stated a theme asking, "Is the audience getting dumber, or are we filmmakers patronizing them?" The ending shows Truman choosing to leave artificial reality for the uncertain real world, suggesting authentic experience trumps comfortable illusion. Released in 1998 before the reality TV boom with shows like Survivor and American Idol, the film now seems predictive of Instagram culture and social media. The film explores a more immediate version of constructed reality, asking whether media-constructed narratives become more real to audiences than authentic experience. Solaris. Andrei Tarkovsky's 1972 adaptation of Stanislaw Lem's novel uses an alien ocean planet as a mirror to explore consciousness, memory, and the irreducible mystery of personhood. Released in 1972 and directed by Andrei Tarkovsky, the film is based on Stanislaw Lem's 1961 novel and focuses on emotional and philosophical contact rather than scientific contact. The setting is a space station orbiting planet Solaris, which is covered entirely by a living ocean, and the plot follows psychologist Chris Kelvin arriving at the station to find the crew unraveling due to strange occurrences. The Solaris ocean creates physical manifestations, which are replicas of people's most painful or meaningful memories, with the key replica being Hari, a perfect recreation of Kelvin's dead wife made from his memories of her. The central question asks whether Hari is a human or alien construct, whether she has genuine consciousness or is simply complex programming executing predetermined behavior. The philosophical framework explores functionalism versus reductionism, asking whether behavior and consciousness matter more than physical substrate. Hari begins without autobiographical memory, but gradually develops it through experience and suffering, while the crew debates whether her lack of real biological origin disqualifies her from personhood. Tarkovsky's approach asks whether love and consciousness can transcend material origin, with longer meditative pacing at 163 minutes, reflecting his philosophy of slow revelation of truth. By making Hari sympathetic and vulnerable, Tarkovsky forces recognition that consciousness might not require biological substrate. eXistenZ. David Cronenberg's 1999 grotesque masterpiece imagines virtual reality as a living, breathing system where players cannot determine which world is real, and perhaps the question itself becomes meaningless. Released in 1999 and written, produced, and directed by David Cronenberg, the film features game designer Allegra Geller creating eXistenZ, a revolutionary virtual reality game system. The unique technology uses game pods that are living organic creatures, not electronic devices, with bioports surgically installed in players' spines, allowing game pods to connect directly. After an assassination attempt by the realist movement, fanatics opposing VR, who shoot Geller with an organic gun made from teeth, Allegra and bodyguard Ted go on the run with a damaged game pod. To test pod integrity, they must play eXistenZ together, leading to reality dissolution, where players cannot distinguish between game and reality as dialogue and scenes blur between layers. Allegra treats her game pod like a living baby, nursing its wounds. The philosophical parallel to Plato's cave shows prisoners can't distinguish shadows from reality, with multiple layers questioned as viewers wonder which is real, the 1999 world, the game world, or another layer entirely. The ending ambiguity suggests yet another reality layer with no resolution, and the visual design uses organic, flesh-like technology to create an uncanny valley effect. The film won the Silver Bear for Outstanding Artistic Contribution at the 1999 Berlin International Film Festival. Unlike The Matrix's binary of real-world versus simulation, eXistenZ implies reality is just another layer players can't escape, suggesting consciousness itself might be a biological-technological hybrid. 13th Floor. Joseph Rusnak's 1999 thriller explores nested simulated realities where each layer believes itself to be real, raising the possibility that our own world might be yet another layer in an infinite stack. Released May 28, 1999, about 2 months after The Matrix, and written and directed by Joseph Rusnak, while produced by Roland Emmerich's Centropolis Entertainment, the film is based on Daniel F. Galouye's 1964 novel Simulacron 3, and serves as a remake of Rainer Werner Fassbinder's 1973 miniseries. The plot follows computer magnate Hannon Fuller, creating a virtual reality simulation of 1937 Los Angeles, where simulated people in the 1937 VR have no awareness they're artificial and believe they're real. When Fuller is murdered, protagonist Douglas Hall enters the simulation to find Fuller's hidden message, which reveals the shocking truth that the 1999 world in which Hall lives might itself be a simulation. The layered reality shows 1999 containing 1937, but questions whether 1999 is real or if there's another layer above it. The metaphor uses how the building's 14th floor is labeled 13th floor, skipping unlucky 13, similarly suggesting reality skips explanation of how many layers exist. The ending shows Hall escaping the 1937 simulation and returning to 1999, but evidence suggests 1999 is also simulated. Each reality layer believes itself to be real, with those creating simulations not realizing they're in one, and the film uses noir aesthetic for the 1937 layer and sleek 1990s tech aesthetic for 1999. Where The Matrix offers definitive answers about a real world above the simulation, the 13th Floor removes all certainty, suggesting infinite regression, where your creators might be created beings who don't know it. Memento. Christopher Nolan's directorial follow-up tells its story backwards to mirror protagonist Leonard Shelby's fractured memory, making viewers experience reality as unreliable recollection rather than objective fact. Released in 2000 and directed by Christopher Nolan, the film stars Guy Pearce as Leonard Shelby, a man with anterograde amnesia who can't form new memories. The structure is told in reverse chronology via color scenes shown backwards plus black and white scenes shown forward, with Leonard documenting memories on Polaroid photos, body tattoos, and handwritten notes. Leonard's unreliable memory makes him vulnerable to manipulation as he pursues John G., supposedly his wife's killer, but is manipulated by others into killing innocent people. The revelation shows Leonard himself as being used as a tool, with his quest for revenge circular and possibly futile. The narrative technique makes the audience experience disorientation, matching Leonard's cognitive state, with color scenes representing Leonard's subjective, unreliable perspective shown backward, and black and white scenes representing a more reliable, factual timeline shown forward. The key theme establishes that memory equals identity, asking who you are without memory. Tattoos reading "Remember Sammy Jenkins" and "Find John G." serve as anchors to identity and purpose, with the emotional climax showing Leonard deciding to continue, despite learning his quest might be based on false premise. Critical reception elevated Nolan to a major filmmaker and influenced subsequent cerebral crime thrillers. The film suggests consciousness isn't continuous awareness, but rather the story we tell ourselves about who we are. If you found this valuable, consider subscribing so you never miss new content. Thanks for watching.